American night. Shake your body dry on the coastline. We're hot American night. We snuck our forks to the shore and drank the bottom bone. We snuck our forks to the shore and drank the bottom bone.
What is going on, everybody? It is fight week. Cage Titans, I'm coming to you from the home office. So just kind of give you a quick update. I got Andy calling in, and I believe he's on the line. But yeah, so I'm here from the home office on fight week. As you may or may not have heard, last week we had that big flood where the roads were shut down on Route 3. They shut down the highway, which is insane. Literally shut down the highway. Unfortunately, Coop's Bar and Grill studio is inside of, the Cage Titans studio is inside Coop's Bar and Grill in Quincy, and we got hit with a little bit of that. We got a bit of a flood, flooded the whole studio out. So that's going to be out of commission for a little while, but we wanted to bring you fight week anyways. So Andy's going to be calling in. We're going to be doing the breakdown, going top to bottom throughout the entire card. We're excited for you. I hope you guys are excited. I know Evan was saying we're sick of Red Hot American Nights. Man, that song just hits. It just hits for Cage Titans. So it's hard to get away from it. But that might be our summer event song that we just kind of go for all of our July events because it's just kind of been hitting. But yeah, every show we try to do something else. Man, the flooding was terrible. Listen, I mean, Thursday, just like 3 inches of water in the restaurant, down into the basement where the studio is. Just everything was just a mess. But luckily, we got the restaurant open, got it all cleaned up and stuff, but the studio is not in good shape. So I'm coming in from the home studio. It is fight week. What's going on, Nicholas, as well? Andrew Mack's fighting for Red Hot American Nights. He said, "Who is we?" I'm never sick of it. I dig it. Well, I'm looking at Andy's crotch right now, and he's not Conor McGregor. So let's wait until he gets in focus. And it looks like he's in focus, so let's bring him in. Why don't you go the other way in?
The other way?
Turn the camera. Bink. Boom.
All right, there we go.
Not bad, Andy.
Not bad. Yeah, I got a new phone, so I'm figuring it out as I go. I might need Nick's help before long.
Yeah.
But
awesome, man. Awesome.
Finally got like a forward-facing camera that isn't cracked. I had a Galaxy S9 for like 10 years. It's the Toyota Corolla of phones. I definitely got like 500,000 miles on that thing if it were a car. But finally got the upgrade.
We got to get you a front-facing light. That's what we need to get you.
We'll work on the lighting as we go. But for right now, we're all set.
Back, we got Al Capone up there?
No, that's Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver.
Oh, okay. I couldn't really see too much. All right, cool.
USA over there. So, all right, let's do it. Let's fight week. Here we go. I got the fight card up.
Movies in there. Fight week. Let's go. Xavier Cardona. We actually have breaking news because Xavier is here right now. I know Andy knows about it. But Xavier Cardona is stepping in on a week's notice, and he will be taking on Kai Michelle. Fortunately and unfortunately, Colin Houghton he got called to, we'll call it military duty, or I don't even know what, if I can announce. I'm not going to announce what he got called to, but he'll be serving our country in some capacity. And he got the call a little earlier than expected. He thought he was able to sneak this fight in, but they bumped up the date. So he will be unavailable. And Xavier Cardona is the man that's always yes, sir. And he's always saying, give me a name. And he's ready to go. So Xavier Cardona will be now taking on Kai Michelle. I think that fight just is super exciting. Remember Xavier? Xavier competed in his last win back in January in the Muay Thai field. Running at his opponent with his hands down, screaming at him to hit him. He's insane. What do you think of this fight, Andy?
Yeah, it's going to be high volume until someone goes down, and neither guy likes to go down. So expect an absolute all-out war. Xavier Cardona stepping up on short notice does not surprise me in the least bit. He's been in there with high-caliber opponents on short notice, tested his mettle in the Muay Thai field, coming off the momentous win that he's got. He's going to be extra motivated, as if he needs any more. And Kai Michelle, young kid with a lot of promise, who's shown speed, crazy striking antics, and the power to deliver. And you've seen development and growth, performance after performance with him. So you got a clash of generational tides meeting there on short notice. And, you know, hats off to Colin Houghton and whatever duties he's being called to that are definitely more important than fighting a cage titan. So it's just another match that happened to be made that's equally as exciting.
Yeah, man. Honestly, Nick Fontecchio, Colin's coach, said thank you to Xavier as well. Yeah, man, Colin, there was kind of some talks, he's been pursuing some service type things, and he thought he'd be able to squeeze this in, and it just didn't end up working out. They called him up, got him in a little early. So, when he announces it, I think you guys will all understand, and we'll leave that to him. But we wish him all the best in the service of the country. And we're excited that Xavier is going to be able to step in and save this fight for Kai Michelle. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good one. And it's one of those fights that, like, obviously you're sad to see Colin fall off the card, but it's one of those ones where it's like a lateral movement. You're just as excited to see this fight. So yeah, man, I'm pumped up for that.
Yeah, no losers in the crowd there.
No, not at all. Not at all. Great opportunity to kind of tell you guys about, the website. If you haven't gone over already, I just changed up my name so you guys know. Let me see. Andy's curves. Bam, boom. All right. So if you haven't already, I'm going to pull it up on the screen now. Head on over to cagetitans.com. Has the entire fight card up to date. Click right up here. Upcoming event. Scroll right on down. Get your tickets. Order the live stream. Let me just make sure you're seeing this. Yep. Here's the full card. Prelim card starts at 6. Main card starts at 8:30. We're going to go over all these fights. There's right there in that middle over to the right, Xavier Cardona, Kai Michelle. We're going to go over all the fights today, but I just want to let you guys know where you can go and find the entire fight card. What else we got here? You can go all the way down. Boom. So, there you go. So there's that. You can go over there, head on over to the website, check that out. Moving on from that, what else we got, Andy? We got, just before we start really breaking down the card and going, the whole list, the fight card on the website is not in order. The main card is in order, but the amateur portion of the card, the undercard, is not in order. That is will be changing, and probably in the next day or two, once everybody's licensing and all that stuff, will be in order. But right now, it's just kind of placeholders for the time being until I get to the next phase, once licensing is done, and then I can order it. While you're at the website, Rob Pico asked, tickets are still available, cagetitans.com. Click the ticket link, brings you over to Tickettree. That's where you can get your tickets. And if you can't make it to the building, I don't know what you're waiting. Why are you waiting to get tickets? But if you can't be in the building at Plymouth Memorial Hall, don't worry. Expectation Sports has you covered. They have the entire fight. They're the only place. Don't fall for scam links in the comments. Expectation Sports is the only place exclusively to watch Cage Titan 72 if you can't be in the building. And So fight week, Gage Luby, can't wait to see you again. Gage Luby's bringing Isaiah Small, 2 and 3, to take on Aiden Giuliani, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Gage Luby, excited to see you back, cornering one of your guys. I know it's been a cool transition seeing you go from fighter to continue to pursue the fight career, but also coaching and bringing some of these young guys out. Your passion for the sport is unparalleled. Fight week festivities, weekend festivities. Unfortunately, we'll be not doing a press conference on Thursday. I know a lot of people look forward to that. But with Nicole coming in from Mexico and one of our other fighters coming in from out of state, they have to get some last minute medicals that will be taking up the day on Thursday. So we unfortunately we're not doing a press conference on Thursday. But I got some exciting news. You guys have been loving the James Lynch Live with Lynch. And James is an incredible media personality who's been covering the sport for a long time. He's been doing Live with Lynch via satellite from Canada. He's flying into town on Thursday night, and Live with Lynch will actually be live with Lynch in person. So he'll be at weigh-ins, and we'll be live streaming that entire portion of Live with Lynch that you guys all come to love and really enjoy. So he will be there live in person on weigh-in day, coming to us from Canada, flying in from out of state country, and interviewing all the pro fighters, talking to the pro fighters, getting their insight, right after they step off the scale, kind of what they're looking forward to in the matchups and getting their thoughts and things of that. So that's an exciting part of Fight Weekend festivities. In addition to that, on weigh-in day at Plymouth Memorial Hall, we will obviously have the ceremonial weigh-in that is live and open to the public as well. So feel free to come on down to Plymouth Memorial Hall to check out the live ceremonial weigh-ins. We go live with the ceremonial weigh-ins at 1. So Friday's a packed day. 11 o'clock, Live with Lynch, live stream. And we'll break live stream about 12:30. Come back with you at 1 for the ceremonial weigh-ins. And you're all invited, so come on down to Memorial Hall. Then on Saturday, some more exciting news. As always, we have the pregame bash at Second Wind Brewing Company. In addition to the pregame bash starting at 12, hosted by Rob Pico over at Second Wind Brewing, James Lynch will be live in the building for Cage Titans 72, holding a pregame show. Very much kind of like College Game Day, pre-shows that you see at the UFC, Red Sox games, things of that. He'll be sitting in studio with one or two panelists breaking down the fight card, talking about the fight card, coming to you at 4 o'clock, getting you guys amped up for when doors open and the fights start. So that's something new that we're going to be doing this upcoming event. So that's another fun and exciting thing. And then as always, our housekeeping. If you haven't already, Hall Pass doors open at 4 o'clock. General admission doors open at 5. First fight starts at 6. And then as always, Tavern on the Wharf for the after party. My long-winded Fight Week festivities. We'll get that schedule up so you guys can see it. Andrew Mack is excited to work with James. I already told him about you, Andrew Mack. I said, Andrew Mack's got you covered. He knows all the ropes in the back interview room. So Andrew Mack, he'll be excited to meet you as well. So there you go. Housekeeping's done. Andy, now let's talk about some fights.
Yeah, indeed. I'm just going to go in the order of the one that you sent me. I know it's not the order of Fight Week, how it's going to go. Will you chill out? I see a bunch of repeating fight camps back and forth, starting off with Guerrilla Crew with an entourage of people coming through. Jake Pillar's school, and he got Tyler St. Jean making his MMA debut at 155 pounds against Anthony King, who stampeded onto the scene with some legendary performances. Big comeback win last year, and looking to bounce back into the win column with this next matchup.
Yeah, man. Honestly, Tyler St. Jean, brother of Jared St. Jean, who's fighting as a professional later on the card. We had Jared St. Jean kind of giving us some insight about his brother when he was on the show a few weeks back. I'm stoked to see Tyler fight on it, and I'm sure it's very motivating when he has his brother fighting in such a huge fight later on in the pro ranks. So he should be firing on all cylinders to get the St. Jean name out there and start the night off big. As for Anthony King, I mean, what's more? You already said it. Like, go watch Anthony King, Noah Skalama, watch it, digest it, fall in love with it. It's probably a top 10 Cage Titans fight of the evers. Insane fight. Anthony, never say die. never quits, keeps coming forward. The kid's a killer. This matchup's going to be amazing.
Yeah, hell of a night to start it off, or hell of a way to start it off if it does end up being the first fight. But you never really know, and just going to keep moving things right along. Just because I don't want my dog getting restless. I don't care. He gets jealous if I'm not giving him attention. Chill out. But Javier Acosta making his comeback, long-awaited return. Remember him? I want to say like 2 years ago. So it might be a little less than that. It's weird how time flies, but. He's making a comeback. He's also representing Gorilla Crew now, and he's taking on the debuting Jason Hurwitz out of Longo's MMA. He's making the trip up from New York?
Yeah. So I mean, this is an interesting fight. So Jason Hurwitz, is that how I pronounce it?
Hurwitz. That's how I would pronounce Hurwitz.
So Jason Hurwitz. So all right, I'm gonna again. You guys all know you gotta if you watch the show, you know I love to talk. So I'm gonna give you the long-winded. Right around it. I don't have a dog to worry about, so I can go on and on. But anyways, so Saul Becerril Vivas is the fighter who welcomed Javier Acosta to the amateur ranks. Saul was able to beat Javier in Javier's amateur debut. Saul came up from New York with two buddies. He was an independent fighter, just rolls up with two buddies, one being Jason Hurwitz, and one being Tyler DeFelipe, who's also fighting on this card. After Saul Becerril, again, that's why you're the announcer. He'll fix the names. But after that, he went and found himself at Longo's MMA. All three of the buddies are all training at Longo's MMA. So Saul, as we talked about last week, he's taking on Stanislav Rakov. When this pullout happened with Javier Acosta's original opponent, Sal's like, dude, you remember my buddies who came with me last time? They're training and they want to go. They've been begging to fight at Cage Titans. They'll take the fight. So, on a short notice, Jason jumps in and he's taking on Javier Acosta. Obviously, Javier has now transitioned over to Gorilla Crew. The kid's also training with New England Cartel. Though he came up short in his amateur debut, he went back, he licked his wounds, he got back in the gym. He's living the lifestyle, strength and conditioning, dieting. He's like, listen, I'm in this for the long haul. I'm not just a guy that's going to be one and done. I'm doing it the right way. So I'm excited to see how he's matured. And, he already had the swag before, and he feel like he's really leveled up his game. So it's going to be an interesting fight. And make no mistake about it, Sal Becerril and his boys, they landed at Longo's MMA down in New York. So they're no jokes, and they're going to be coming to win. And Sal already upset Javier in his debut. So he's looking for one of his teammates to kind of do the same thing. So they're familiar with the opponent, but I think Javier is going to be a totally new opponent in this one. So we'll see how this plays out. Yeah,
that's certainly an interesting storyline. Seems like the Gorilla Crew's got an entourage and Longo MMA's got an entourage. It's coming up too. And they're going to be squaring off against each other pretty early on in the night. And Costa has a chance at revenge against the New York squad from his debut, and Hurwitz looking to make the same splash that Becerril Vivas was able to do. And Becerril Vivas taking on a big fight later in the card that we're going to be talking about in just a second as well. So, yeah, a lot of interesting storylines budding from that.
Yeah, that's what I miss about Table Titans. When the last few weeks is the summer, we haven't been really chatting much. There's so many cool little storylines. And then I did a breaking news last week how we came to the Sal Becerril Vivas fight versus Stanislav. There's so that's what just makes Cage Titans. And I'm going to give you guys my heartfelt apologies for not being on the air for the last few weeks. But also my word that we're going to make such much more a concerted effort to be back every week. We kind of slacked a little bit on this card with the summer. Myself. No one to blame but me. But I'll give you guys my word. Like, I love bringing these stories to you. And then when I get on air, it's like, man, I wish I'd been telling this story for the last few weeks. So I will be a much more concerted effort to be back every week. But yeah, man, so many cool storylines, and we'll get into it as we kind of flow through the night tonight. Hit us with the next one, Andy.
We got Isaiah Small taking on Aiden Giuliani. Isaiah Small out of Killer Elite MMA. And Aiden Giuliani out of Social Sport Fighting, coming off of a title fight. Small tons of experience, sitting at 2-4. He's going into a 7th MMA fight. And Aiden Giuliani, still shy of 21 years old, staying busy and active as the young buck should. So,
yeah, Isaiah Sleepy Small. He's actually the fighter that's coming to town with Gage Luby. He's had a couple fights. You know, he's 1-1 in his last 2 fights. You know, he's had a lot of amateur fights. A lot have been fights out at Flex and ECF out in New York. And Gage has been telling me, like, listen, every time I get the opportunity to tell my fighters try to get out to Cage Titans, we got to get out to Cage Titans. So he's been pitching these guys for a little bit of time, and the time was right to get Isaiah out here. And he's taking on Aiden Giuliani. You know, Aiden Giuliani came up short in that title fight bid. He licked his wounds as well and went back to the drawing board, and he's back, and he's ready to kind of reestablish himself as one of the top fighters in the region at that weight class. But Isaiah Small is no easy task to put away, and you know he's coming prepared out of Killer Elite. You know, since we last saw Gage Luby and that crew, I think they were the Diamond Dogs back then. You know, they've really found a gym. You know, they were kind of the Diamond Dogs, the traveling pack of dogs that were kind of, you know, going a little bit of here, training a little bit here. They've really kind of settled themselves out in the last few years since we've seen Gage Luby, and his team is kind of settled down a little bit, and they're ready to kind of put on a show, and I'm excited for it. You know, let's see what these guys got. Let's see what they bring to town. New York versus Boston. What more can you ask for?
see, it seems to be a lot of New Yorkers riding up, and what a place to be thematic about it in New England. So,
and Sal Basaril, he was part of that Gage Luby crew.
I remember
with the Diamond Dogs in the original day. Before he kind of broke off and did his own thing. So, yes, another connection. So we got a lot of New Yorkers coming.
The connection and the segue, because he's next on the list. Saul Besaril Vivas, sitting at 4-5, taking on Stanislav Rakov, coming off that title fight. This is a high-caliber amateur fight, tons of experience on both sides. They both had their ups and downs. They both faced high-caliber competition, and we've seen them both be successful in dynamic fashion at Cage Titans already. So circle this one as one to not blink, because it's just going to be a crazy amateur fight between, I think, 2 guys that still can't even get a beer, and they've already got almost 20 amateur fights between them. So that's very exciting for the next generation.
Listen, man, you know, you see guys usually a couple handful, less than 5 amateur fights, and they're going pros. And these guys are coming in on double digits with these fights as in the amateur ranks. You know, Sal has traveled all over. Same with Stanislav. You know, Stanislav from Connecticut, Sal from New York. They've traveled all over trying to get fights, and you know they have a ton of experience. I popped this comment up because New England MMA News mentioned Fry versus Barry hasn't happened. If you missed last week's live that I did, I kind of told the whole story. I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell real quick. Josiah Fry was fighting Jack Barry. Jack Barry scratched his eye, cornea, or something like that. Had to pull out. The call went out to find somebody. Sal Basaril answered the call to take on Josiah Fry. So then it was moving front. So Barry's out. Sal's in. Sal versus Fry. Title fight. A week later, Fry's out. Sal's standing there. I still want to fight. Stanislav Rakov, who just came up short in his title fight against Josiah Fry, made the match, made perfect sense. And Sal either reestablishes himself or establishes himself as a real contender for Fry. You know, not that he was just getting the shot because it was short notice and somebody pulled out. So I think a win for him does it. As for Stanislav, hey, listen, man, he reestablishes him as a top dog in the flyweight division, and maybe down the road, you know, gets a rematch with Fry, or maybe they meet later. So it's going to be it's going to be interesting. So I'm pumped for that fight. There's your long-winded in a nutshell. I thought it was going to be in a nutshell, but it ended up being long-winded, as Andy knows with everything with me.
Yeah, that was a nut bomb.
Yeah. So Josiah Fry versus Jack Barry is not happening. We end up coming up with Stanislav Rakov or Sal Basaril Vivas Fry is on the shelf. We're hoping to get him back for September. Same with Barry. Barry's already back in the gym doing the one eye, hitting the bag and doing all that crazy stuff with his eye patch. It's wild. So
there's only Jack fucking Barry would.
Yeah, absolutely. And
he would fight with
my
that
son
guy,
just
for sure.
walked in, and I think it's perfect timing. He's wearing his comfy in a 90-degree day. But Karina Arnold, I'm Cam Arnold's daughter, and I will fight for you one day. Karina, I hope you do. And, keep on training, and we'll see you in the Cage Titans cage one day. Not against my son, Connor. There you go. Perfect. It's a family affair here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go next, Andy.
Next. All right. Got to switch pages here where we're at. Mike Morris. A name we haven't seen at Cage Titans, representing Next Level Development Gym, looking for his first win against the debuting Vinny Tedesco at a BAT.
Want me to tell you about it?
Yeah, I've not heard of this fight. This is the first I'm seeing it, so I need the backstory on this amateur matchup now. All the stories coming in one time. I like it.
Let's go, man. I'm full of them today. So Vinny the Bull Tedesco trains out of Gary Bolletto's gym, as well as Triforce, as well as Greg Rebello's gym. He was scheduled to make his debut at 160 pounds. Unfortunately, we talked about that fight before. Vinny's gone down from like 280, dropped all the way down to 160 pounds. He was originally supposed to take on Josh Badia, who went from 360 down to 160. Unfortunately, the weight wasn't dropping as well as it could for Josh, so he had to pull out. It looked like, unfortunately, Vinny was going to be out of a fight. I was going to have to break the bad news. In step Mike Morris. Mike Morris is cornering Josh Johnson on the main card against Chris Snyder. And I got the message from Josh Johnson on Thursday, and he was like, hey, here's my cornerman's ID. My trainer from the gym can't corner me, but one of my teammates is going to corner me. And I saw the name, I saw the ID, I stopped booking the flights. I said, hey, you said your teammate, is he a pro or an amateur? He's like, he's an amateur. I was like, okay, well, wait. He goes, like around 155, 170 between there. I go, I got a slot at 160, 165. He's like, yeah, he'll do it. He can make it. So, bam. Josh Johnson took the fight on a week and a half notice against Chris Snyder. And then in the whole booking the flights 4 days ago, that throwaway comment of, hey, my trainer can't come because it's short notice, but my teammate's going to come. And then I had that kind of know-how to be like, oh, what's your teammate? What's his deal? And then, boom, he gives me the info, and we make a fight. Vinny the Bull Tedesco. Vinny Tedesco is the jiu-jitsu coach at Gary Bolletto's gym. He's a brown belt. He's been training since he was 15 years old. He's 23 now. He's got a lot of years under him. He's been waiting for this debut. I believe he's part owner of Adiamo Fightwear. We've seen them around from the Triforce guys. So he's stoked about it. As for Mike Morris, he's coming up with Josh from Atlanta, Georgia. ATL is going to be in the house, and he's looking to stuff Vinny Tedesco's big, coming out party in his debut.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a perk of not doing the show on a regular basis. We're just getting all the short notice stories and all the fights that are being made right here. Because, that's another one that's, you can't really make it up. You can't really script it. Seems like Next Level Development's just full of gamers who are ready to step up on a second's notice to take big fights at the amateur and pro ranks. So hats off to Mike Morris for taking this opportunity, running with it, and giving Vinny Tedesco an opportunity to make this debut. Because as you mentioned, he's been around a while, been training at a bunch of different gyms, has a high pedigree of martial arts experience behind him already before even making this debut. So that's one to be excited for, and one that we're grateful was able to be saved last minute. So
yeah, man, it's always the worst when you have to make a phone call to a fighter like that's been busting his ass. No matter what part of their career they're at, whether they're pro or amateur. But I mean, it sucks no matter what. It also kind of sucks when it's like their debut. Like, it's like you've been dreaming about this day, and it's like you want it to go perfect, your first time, and it's like, bam, something like this happens. But he's just excited to get in there. And Morris, who was just coming for a little fun trip to corner his buddy. Now they're riding or dying together. They're coming up together. They're bunking together. They're fighting together. This will probably end up being the first fight of the night, so I can get Mike in there fighting, and then we can have some time that Josh can kind of sit back and relax, because Josh is the first fight on the main card. So this will probably end up being the first fight of the night. Can Andy get any further away? Steve Rita wants to know.
I probably could if I wanted to, but I'm leaning up a little bit too. So no worries. If you miss me that much, Steve Rita.
We'll see him Saturday. Steve Rita, you're on the gloves on Saturday, brother.
All right. Next, we talked about this fight earlier on Xavier Cardona and Kai Michel. Xavier Cardona stepping up on short notice, taking on Kai Michel, who, I mean, Xavier could probably be his dad age-wise, but he's not unaccustomed to that. He's fought people that he is several generations older than before and been successful. So he's an absolute savage in there, as is Kai Michel. These guys are both dynamic in their own respects, explosive, and willing to take one to deliver one. So just expect fireworks in this fight. I'm very happy this one came together.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Xavier's never met a fist fight he hasn't liked.
Yeah.
And he's gonna come walking you down, no care. He'll eat two just to maybe land one. He might eat a third to maybe land another one. This guy, you know, it's a great style that he has. He just loves to entertain. Like this kid, full camp, no camp, you know, a killer, a guy in his debut, a guy his own age, a guy a half his age. He don't care who it is. He just wants a name and he wants to compete and just have fun. And every time I mention Xavier Cardona, I'd be remiss if I don't mention all the great work he does for all the dads, you know, down in the court system in New Bedford area, Fall River, all those areas. He's got a great company, you know, that he does with all of, you know, single dads, trying to get them back with their kids and you know, things of that nature. So there's a lot of great work with in the court system and with dads. So you know, fighting the good fight. So shout out to Xavier for doing that. But you know, Kai's been away for a little while. He's been doing EMT school and paramedic school, and he's been focusing kind of on his career outside the cage. And yeah, man, he was another one. He was like, man, I was excited to fight Colin, and he's just like, I'm kind of just as excited to fight Xavier. I'm just excited to get back in there. He's always all smiles, as you know, the infamous cup guy, the first ever guy who lost the fight because he couldn't keep his cup in his pants. So Kai Michel, the cup guy, will be taking on Xavier Cardona.
Yeah, both coming off of exciting performances as well. So the momentum is on their side. I'm excited for it.
Let's go.
All right. This next one, you mentioned the name earlier, Tyler DeFilippis at Longos MMA, taking on Ryan Palmer, who we saw make his debut last show and just looked impressive, came up short, but the debut jitters are gone. So he's coming in ready, keeping the ball rolling, staying active, and welcoming DeFilippis to the MMA ranks. And DeFilippis looking to be a part of that New York crew, looking to play spoiler as the away team.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, Tyler, you know, sometimes when you guys got guys coming in from out of state or first time that never been to a Cage Titans event, they kind of get, you know, I've heard it from fighters before. Oh shit. Like, you know, it's not your typical like local, you know, show. So they kind of get a little stage fright. I remember actually when Gage Luby and his team came the first time, they were telling that they were on the live. They're like, we're at the UFC. It's like, no, it's not the UFC. It's Cage Titans. So, you know, sometimes people get kind of starstruck with the big show when they come and make their debut. But as I said before, Tyler cornered Saul when he fought Javier Acosta a couple of years back or 2 years ago. He's been to Cage Titans. He's been to the Fighter Hotel. He's been to the weigh-in. He's made the walk with his teammate. Now it's just his turn. He's another one that's been up my butt about getting a fight for a while now. And now it's his time to shine. As for Parmenter, you know, him and his coach, Sean Graham, you know, Graham is like, he has all the accolades as a wrestler. The kid was a stud high school wrestler. We saw it in his debut, and he just unfortunately took on Kadu Lanes, who kind of weathered the storm. You know, there was talk about kind of going back to the drawing board, taking a little time, refine some skills but Parmento was having none of it. He was like, I want right back in and get me a name immediately. There was probably a day off, and the next day, fight was Saturday. I didn't hear anything on Sunday, but by Monday it was like, all right, I'm back in. Who do I got next? I can't go out like that. I need to fix this taste in my mouth. So both guys going to be hungry. Should be a good one.
Oh, the hungry one's always fun. I love it.
Yes.
And speaking of Cadu Lanes, he's next on the list, undefeated 2-0, and he's dropping down to 135 pounds to take on Thurman Hargrove at a Zekeli MMA. Cadu at a back to basics, as we know. They're just on a tear as a camp this year, undefeated, I think, as a whole. And Cadu Lane is looking to be the sole continuance of it on Cage Titan 72. As he takes on the highly touted Thurman Hargrove, a name that people were excited to see finally make its way to Cage Titans.
Yeah, man. Listen, this guy Thurman Hargrove is something, man. I'm hearing so many great things about this guy, and him versus Lanes is gonna be something big. Thurman has fought all over, Combat Zone. I think NEF, Combat FC. He's 4-1, a ton of hype, ton of potential, and Cadu's just looking to kind of stifle that. I know that there's some big plans for the September card for the Back to Basics guy. They're trying to snatch every single Cage Titans title we have. They want the 25, 35, and 45 belts. They want the pro belt. And Cadu is part of those plans to put away a tough opponent here and try to earn himself a title fight in September against reigning champion Ash Rao. As for Hargrove, as Kelly said it best, this kid has a ton of upside, a ton of potential. 4-1 as an amateur, and the kid's 18 years old. He might have just turned 19. Super young kid, super talented, with a great camp up at Mike Zekeli's jiu-jitsu. It's man, this is a fight that you guys will be talking about for a while. And these are the type of fights that kind of get you feeling tingly, like, oh shit, no padding records, no avoidance. Give me the toughest guy you got. And that's what Zekeli said to me. Give me the toughest guy you got. And we all know Jeff Perez and his back to basic school. They want tough fights. And they want a title. So they're like, whoever we got to take out to get that title shot, we're doing. So here you have it, guys. Cadu Lanes. If you can't tell, I'm pumped up. Cadu Lanes, Thurman Hargrove. Let's go.
Yeah, even my dog's pumped up about it. He's stoked about this fight, as you should be. You look at the resume of both guys. There's just not an easy task on either one of their paths to this fight. And we're really in for a treat. These guys both have all of the potential to be. This almost has me thinking of like a Manny Bermudez versus Chris Mutino fight from back in the day, where like you see two guys that are really in their prime, very young in their career, with all the skills, and who knows where they're going to be 10 years from now, and they're really going to test each other in the cage this time out.
Absolutely. And if you look at Thurman Hargrove's, obviously Cadu's undefeated. Look at Thurman Hargrove's record. He's 4-1 as an amateur. His loss is to NEF champion, who we just saw last event take out Phil Lucino's undefeated record. So Thurman Hargrove's only loss was a 4th round submission to Nick Eldridge, who is now a 5-0 undefeated promotional champion as a professional. That's the type of level this kid is. And we've all seen Cadu with our own eyes. So, man, this fight's going to be incredible. I love that you bring up Manny and Chris Mutino. Remember when Mutino fought Don Sheenis as amateurs? Like, this is a fight that, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, we might be like, both guys could be in the UFC or a contender series. And we're like, remember when they fought at Cage Titans in July 19th, Cage Titans 72? And it could be one of those opportunities. So, yeah, great fight.
Yeah, that's going to be insane.
All right, let's go. Let's get to the next one.
We on to the title fights now.
Boom, let's go.
All right, this lightweight title fight is insane. We are talking about the Gorilla Crew earlier. Talk about someone who really exploded onto the scene and well-deserved this title fight. Tristan Wood, just insanely durable and multifaceted he's got all the makings of a champion already. His last win over Header Gomes was just a gritty performance where he showcased all of the skills needed for this title fight right here. And Jake Kasky, perennial contender at 145 pounds, jumping up in weight to claim the title that was once his teammate, Eric Zane's. Yeah, this is just going to be an explosive matchup between two guys that bring a whole new definition of the word hungry.
Yeah, man, if you missed my live last week when I talked about this fight, essentially Eric Zane wants to pursue titles at featherweight, drop down to 45. So he essentially is like, listen, I don't want to hold up the belt. I don't want to hold up the title. I'm willing to give up the lightweight title, but I want my teammate Jake Kasky to get the shot at it. Not that it was contingent on that, but kind of like, hey, listen, I respect that. Hey, listen, I'm going to step down, give it a shot to my teammate so we can keep the belt in the same gym. So I respected the hell out of that. And I was like, sure, let's go for it. Jake Kasky, multiple fight of the year, I think 2023, 2024, fight of the year, winner, knockout of the year contender against Ryan Kennedy. So like this Kasky is a no-brainer. It didn't take much convincing. I was like, sure, shit. Yeah, let's go. Jake Kasky in a title fight. As for Tristan Wood, you mentioned it. Eder Gomes. Eder Gomes was unstoppable, looked unbeatable. And Tristan came in his Cage Titans debut and put a stop to that. Picked up a huge victory against Eder Gomes. Put himself in line. If it wasn't, Tristan Wood would have fought Eric Zane for the title. But, he was next in line no matter what. So here you go. It ends up being a vacant title. And Jake Kasky versus Tristan Wood, who's going to hold that belt up.
Yeah, it's amateur title fights always deliver. They really are the pinnacle of the show sometimes. And we have two state-of-the-art amateur title fights on this one, starting with the lightweights with two savages who are proven to deliver exciting performances in there, no matter where the fight is.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, let's go. Mayonnaise. I don't know who Mayonnaise is, but Mayonnaise is excited about this. He's stoked about this fight. So let's go, Mayonnaise. I'm stoked as well. Looks like Andy's trying to pull it up, so I'm going to go for it. We got Jaden Curley returning, taking on Gavin O'Connell for the welterweight title. When we announced this fight, we talked about it before. Jaden Curley was in a fight of the year winner against Ozzy Martin. Incredible title fight. Probably, we talked about top 10 fights. That could have been a top 10 fight as well. The hype, the build up, the loudness of the venue. Jaden Curley came up short in that fight, but man, what a performance it was. He's taking some time off to chase, national championship dreams, I think at Roger Williams. Or it might be Jay Wu. Do you remember? Is he Jay Wu?
Jay Wu.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think he's Jay Wu. Let me look him up because I always mix up the two.
Rhode Island, it's a small state.
Roger Williams. He goes to Roger Williams. So
Roger Williams, all right.
Yep. So Roger Williams, collegiate wrestler. He's back. College wrestling season's over. He wants to get right back in it. He just finished his last year of college. So now it's full steam ahead with MMA. He's been dabbling back and forth with wrestling, his junior year of wrestling and had a fight. And then he went back to the wrestling season. Then he had a fight in the summer. And here he is after his senior year. He's looking to capture that Cage Titans title that he came up short against Ozzy Martin. As for Gavin O'Connell, the kid's been a stud. He's looked great in his Jordan Tavares that he took on a couple events ago. Then he went over to New York and picked up a big stoppage victory last month. And this kid 4-2, he's got every bit the frame of a 170er. He's kind of a silent assassin. He doesn't really talk much, doesn't really do much social media, doesn't really do much of anything besides go in there with a stone cold face and just fight. How many smiles we've seen. He comes to the cage. He comes to the Coops Bar and Grill UFC nights, and he just kind of sits there and hey, what's up, Gavin? Hey, what's go? Hey, man, a few words. But when he's in the cage, he lets his fists and his jiu-jitsu and all the skills do the talking. Jaden Curley versus Gavin O'Connell.
Yeah, both guys with the momentum right now. Curley at the top of the division since he stepped foot in there. Just on his wrestling accolades alone, let alone his performance. Will you shut up, please? Please. I just need a little bit more time. All right, just chill. You've been so good. Can you just continue being a good boy? Just for a little bit. You're doing good, bud. You're doing good. If I let you out of the crate, you're gonna fuck everything up. But you're like you're good right there. You're good. So yeah, no, Jake Hurley, a savage at the top of the division since he stepped foot in there, and Gavin O'Connell, you know, suffered a setback in his Cage Titans debut, but he's been on the bounce back since with some impressive performances, and he's looking to continue that trajectory of challenging performances and taking on the wrestling pedigree Jake Hurley. And this is the next amateur title fight, and we'll see where they both stand at the end of it and who's going to be the next champion.
Let's go. There we go. There's the undercard, man. Andy, before we go on to the main card, give me the one you're looking forward to most, or what's the one we should circle?
Oh, I mean, there's a couple options here. You got the Xavier Cardona Kai Michelle fight, the short notice replacement there. You know that's going to be an explosive banger. Thurman Hargrove and Kadu Lanes. That one's just got all the makings. There's not even a title on that fight, but there could be with their skill sets and resumes behind them. The title fights are always delivered. We just finished talking about those, though. And then,
you're naming the whole damn card.
I know. That's just how exciting of an amateur undercard this is right there. So that now you know how it feels. This is let's recap it and just go through every single thing we just said in this.
It is funny. It's like when you say, "Hey, who's your favorite kid?" They're all my favorite. I mean, honestly, that every fight on this card. I mean, it's so cliche, but it's just like you get excited. There's something at stake in every one of these fights. And maybe because I'm close to the fights when I match it, I kind of know it. Somebody at home might be like, what do I care about this fight? But like for me, every one of these fights on this card, I'm kind of like, ooh, okay, all right, let's go. Let's see how this goes. And you're right. I mean, there's some of the bigger names, the more experienced amateurs on this card. There's some, I say it every time ad nauseum. It's about backfilling the lot. There's an 0-0 on this card. That's going to be the next Thurman Hargrove, Kadu Lanes. Thurman Hargrove and Kadu Lanes are going to be the next Gavin O'Connell, Jaden Curley, Jake Kasky, Tristan Wood. And then one of those guys that I just named in the title fights are going to be some of our debuting pros. It's amazing to see the progression, from one card to the next. So yeah, man, every fight on this card is going to be a banger on the card. They're absolutely going to set the stage. So yeah, let's go. Yeah,
this is great. They've always been stacked cards, but as we're going through these undercard matchups, it's just holy shit. So yeah, going right into the pros, and it's like it's just as stacked on the professional side of things. The stakes are just that much higher, and Joshua Johnson at a next level development gym taking this short notice opportunity, bringing a teammate along with them, and Mike Morris, as we mentioned earlier, that part of the story. But he's taking a short notice fight himself against the professional debuting Chris Snyder, who was an amateur title challenger back in the day, champion. He's taken a long stint away from MMA, bridging that amateur to professional career, but he stayed active. He stayed busy. He's always been dangerous, crisp hands, just well-rounded skill set, and as tough as they make him as well. So very excited to see him come back and jump right into the professional ranks. And then kudos to Joshua Johnson stepping up on short notice from Atlanta, you mentioned. So the Georgia boys will be coming up and trying to play the spoiler. All right, I'm going to let you out of the crate. And if you knock anything over, you're going right back in. Are you going to be chill? You're going to be chill. I'm going to give you a
hose. You get the hose. Well, listen, man. Chris Snyder has been away from the cage, I think 2017, 2018. He was in that top 10 of the ever amateur fights. We're going to have to break down the top 10s, amateurs versus pro. Chris Snyder versus Chris O'Brien. Go watch it. I'm saying top 10. That might be top 3 fights ever in cage.
Yeah, I mean, when you really go back, there's been so many insane fights that have happened. It's tough to really put it on because you can go back. For me, the greatest fight of all time is always going to be Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner. But there's been some insane wars that have happened since. You can jump generationally, and there's been that was taught by Shogun versus Dan Henderson, which was taught by Jones versus Gustafson, which was taught by Prochazka versus Teixeira, which was insane fight. Like I've never seen the fight with so many knockdowns that went down. It's just like as the sport develops, you keep seeing great performances and insane wars, but generationally, cage titans wise, Snyder versus O'Brien always holds a place in my heart, and everybody in that building that was there that night, just because of what I would say my job is the play-by-play is to tell the story of the fight, and sometimes like what we're talking about here, that's plays into the story of the fight. All that back end knowledge of like short notice replacement. He was supposed to fight who or whatever, southpaw versus wrestler or whatever the story of the fight is. And that was one of the first ones that from the making of it, because both of them had great performances leading up to it, to the press conference, to the weigh-ins, to the face-off. It just kind of was the first fight that really built itself up organically that way. And then for it to deliver the way that it did, for the momentum shifts and the caliber of momentum shifts. Both guys had every opportunity to quit, but they didn't. And it was just the tenacity that they both brought out of each other in that fight. That will always be one of the all-time great fights in so many words. It's we've had so many insane fights that have happened since that it's always fun to reminisce and go back in the history books, because like in the blink of an eye, that fight's 8 years ago now.
Well, I would say this, and kind of echoes, and not to draw the show out any longer, but like, and when we talk and look back, or I look back, that was kind of the breakout fight for Cage Titans. Up until, we started in 2010, but like 2017, that was kind of like, we're not really a new promotion anymore. We're but we're not like we've been around forever at that point. I think that was the breakout fight for us, kind of reasons you said, like these guys both eyeballed each other. They both kind of knew this fight was going to happen. They had their eyes on each other. They wanted it. The buildup, the animosity between the two, like they did not like each other. Like, think of like, Andy, we talked about it earlier, like Motino versus Manny Bermudez, which was before this fight, but like they weren't them then, and they wasn't bad blood. It was just, they just fought. And, Motino and Sheamus, like, looking back when they're both UFC vets and they fought as amateurs at school, but like they didn't hate each other, like not want to fight each other. Chris O'Brien versus Chris Niger was the first time we felt kind of at Cage Titans. These guys don't like each other. They were in the same division. They knew they wanted to fight each other. They didn't like each other. And then the buildup. That was when we first started kind of getting behind the storytelling. For the first time ever, I think we did a show called Face Off, where we had them face to face and did the interview, like, boom, right here in each other's face, asking them questions, like backwards chairs, leaning into each other.
The Table Titans build up with it. It was just like
Titans. It was probably one of the top loudest moments ever, because they were both popular kids. And then the way the fight played out, with almost the fight getting stopped, and like it was the first time ever that everything that we're known for now happened. That might actually be it. Everything we're known for today probably originated with Chris Snyder versus Chris O'Brien. I'm going to say it here.
Or it didn't so much originate, but that might be the first fight where that encapsulated every facet of what we do. Yes. From start to finish, and then for both of them to do it, because like that's, like you always say, we give them the platform to take it and run with it. We're a marketing company that uses fights. So like that was the first fight where both guys maximized the platform we gave them to maximize the hype. And then once the cage doors were locked, all of the back end work of, the social media team, us doing Table Titans and promoting the fights and the posters and the clips and everything, they went and delivered. And every bang for the buck was delivered in their performance there. So they're both cemented in legacy, and that's just a reason why I'm so excited for Chris Snyder to make the comeback. Well, we went on this tangent, but like, yeah, it's important. It's important to go back and look at those because and on top of it, it's a great fight. It's just thoroughly entertaining. You just see the heart in both of them and the depth of the tank that they both presented. So yeah, that's a great way to put it, where it's like it kind of had a piece of every single aspect of the build up to a fight, and it happened so organically as well.
I'm on the here's the face off. Richie Santiago with hair. That was 7 years ago, man.
I was probably about 250 pounds when this fight happened too.
Yeah, that was it. And then here's the fight. Go do yourself a favor and watch this fight. I don't even know if we have even like the walkout with Chris. Remember Chris O'Brien coming out the Sandman?
So like, and it's like, this is how far back it goes. Like, we're yelling. You can hear us. It sounds like we're yelling because we are. Because it's so loud in there.
Now,
we don't even have headsets. You're just screaming.
Wild times, man. Oh, here we go. We gotta watch this.
One platform, any website.
I don't know if you can, but
unlimited
I'm not gonna.
Who always brings it on game day?
Can you guys hear this?
We got more fights to break down. Let them watch it on their own time. We can't watch the whole damn fight. Chris Snyder's coming.
He is the crowd favorite. He is the bearded dragon.
Jesus
when
Christ,
you look at his face when he makes this walkout, you will see why people fear him.
Absolutely. He's the favorite here. Woo! It is loud in this place.
Look at that intensity. Are you kidding me, Plymouth?
It was insane.
Everyone should call their family
like,
right
so,
now.
So just the reason I'm that loud, it's we don't have headsets. We can't hear each other as we're talking.
This fight is
we're holding microphones, so we're like trying to communicate. It's like trying to talk to someone at a club when the music's playing.
This is where didn't Richie throw the microphone and walk away?
The underdog, the dark horse.
All right. You guys are gonna have to watch it on your.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch it.
Watch it on your own.
It's like it's almost
on your own.
It's almost difficult to listen to me screaming that, but also remembering like, oh no, you literally can't hear a fucking thing in that building. And I'm using a handheld microphone trying to communicate to someone that I'm like, what? I can't even hear him talk. It's so bad. But the fight's incredible. So if you can,
I'm putting this in the comments.
If you can bear through my fucking commentary there, then
that was an insane fight, dude. I'm sweating. Think about it. And then afterwards, probably like 2 years later, I did a show with Chris O'Brien watching that fight. It was me and him on the couch watching that fight back and kind of going through what was going through his head at this moment and that. It was an incredible dude. Honestly, that's one of my top moments, Cage Titans. It really is. Like even watching it again, the emotion. I'm right there, back there. But either way, Chris Snyder went away. He was doing police academy, things like that, taking care of his real life outside the cage. He's got that itch. He's back 8 years later. It looked like he was going to be without a fight because his opponent went MIA and Chris Burbrick. And Joshua Johnson answered the call from ATL coming up from Georgia. And he answered the call, so he'll be saving that pro debut for Chris Snyder. We're stoked to see Chris Snyder back after all these years. I know this fight means a little something extra. I'm not going to share his story, but if you know him, this means a little something extra for him. And maybe when we talk to him on fight night or live with Lynch, we can get that story a little bit. But it means a lot to him to be here and been back competing. So we're stoked to see him compete at Memorial Hall. And I'm excited to see Josh Johnson come up from ATL and see what he's got, because this kid was nothing but a professional. Answered the call out looking for a short notice replacement, sends me his medicals, gets me his IDs, gets everything he needs to do. I've had guys that have been on the card for 6-7 weeks and they haven't sent me shit. And this kid was like, yep, I'll take the fight. Here's my ID. Here's my physical. Here's this. I'm like, dude, I can't wait. So there you go, man. Let's go. Chris Snyder,
kicking off the main card.
starting the fight card off.
that's the way to kick it off indeed. And this next fight's just as enticing, man. Aaron Hughes taking on Jared St. Jean. We mentioned Jared St. Jean's got a relative fighting, I don't know, brother or cousin. His brother confirmed. All right, Tyler St. Jean earlier on the card, but Jared St. Jean representing Nostos undefeated at 2-0 and trying to stay undefeated and taking a huge jump up in experience in the opponent that he's facing, and Aaron Hughes, who is looking to crack the goose egg that St. Jean possesses and garner some momentum in his own favor. So an exciting fight at 155 pounds, kind of a clashing of the guard in terms of generational status in the fight game. We got the seasoned veteran versus the undefeated prospect early in the career, and it's tale as old as time, and we love seeing it play out when the cage forward walks.
Yeah, we had Jared St. Jean and Aaron Hughes on the show, both consummate professionals. Jared, coming out of Nostos, he was a 2-promotion champion as an amateur. His only loss as an amateur or his entire career was to Sahib Jackson, who's fighting on this card as well. I think in the next fight, actually, that we're going to talk about. But either way, Jared St. Jean, he's looking to get a big notch in his belt. Like, this is a big step up in competition, experience-wise, for an opponent against him. So he's really trying to make a statement win here, and improve his record to 3-0. But he's got a tough task. I mean, Aaron Hughes says no to him. He never takes easy fights. The kid's allergic to easy fights. Sometimes it's like, dude, maybe you could take a show off, and he'd rather take a tough fight than take a show off. And, that shows to his character. He's doing a lot of good things. He's with New England Cartel a little bit more full-time now. Things in his life are kind of settling. He's moved. He's got all kinds of good things going on in life, and he wants to get in a fist fight, and he wants to show this young buck not so fast up the pro ranks here in New England, and he's looking to put a stop to the hype train of Jared St. Jean. And we've talked about Aaron so many times, and we talk at length about the amount of time he's been training, the people he trains with. And it's always who's going to show up on Fight Night when it comes to Aaron Hughes, and he seems locked in, ready to go. And he's coming in 3 fights in a row. He's been taking on undefeated guys in his last 3 fights. So that just shows the quality of opponents that Aaron's stepping in there with. And Jared's looking forward to the challenge. He wants to prove that he's a top guy, and he's a highly touted prospect, and he deserves that. So he's got a tough fight in Aaron Hughes, and he wants to prove who he is. So let's see what he's got, and let's see if Aaron still got it. The old dog. Did we see a torch passing, or do we see a not so fast youngster? Let's go, Aaron Hughes.
That's how it goes in these kind of matchups, and that's why we love him so. Yeah, and an exciting pro fight right there.
Yes.
Next up, you mentioned him, Sahib Jackson, and you definitely wanted me to take on this last name, Vadim Zadnipriani. Zadnipriani.
There we go.
Zadnipriani.
Zadny Priani. He's from the Ukraine, if that helps with pronunciations. I don't know.
Zadny Priani.
Whatever you want to say.
Pronounce it, if I'm guessing.
Let's go. He's from the Ukraine.
My last name in the old country is Kuzhinkowski, so I don't know what the full pronunciation, but I will get it. But
we'll get it. He flies into town on Wednesday, coming to us from California in Team Alpha Male by way of Ukraine. I did a long live last Wednesday on this fight. The juice is coming to Cage Titan. Sahib Jackson, undefeated amateur, undefeated pro, undefeated kickboxer. He was taking on Tom Santos, kind of very similar to Jared St. Jean. He was like, all right, my first time at Cage Titans, I kind of want to take a little bit of step up. I want to take on a veteran, to kind of get my name out to the Cage Titans crowd. Tom, unfortunately, came up with an injury, so that fight's off, and the search was on. And I think what I mentioned last week is sometimes, like, when you start cooking, like, what you end up with is better than what you originally thought you were going to have. So I think this fight is so much more exciting. I spoke at length about this fight. Vadim is 2-1 as a pro, and I'm just going to say this.
But he's got a ton of kickboxing background.
His pro debut was against Yusuf Zalal. Yusuf Zalal, who beat Calvin Kattar in his last fight in the UFC, who beat Peter Barrett, some names that you know. I believe he is 7-2 in the UFC. He was 12-5 when Vadim fought him as an 0-0 amateur. Yes, Vadim lost that fight, but that just shows you the caliber of this kid that would take on a fight like that in his pro debut. He did that because he was 40-5 as a kickboxer. And the kid has a ton of experience, a ton of striking experience, is incredible. So when you come over to the United States with that type of experience as a kickboxer, you're not getting normal 0-0 versus an 0-0 in your pro debut. So we had to take on a guy that's a UFC veteran, which is insane to me. Since that loss, he's gone 2-0 in his last 2 fights, had some great performances, and he answered the call, and he wants to test out the juice. And Sahib, kudos to him and the Triforce family. Like, this is a huge step in a different direction against Vadim when he was originally supposed to fight Tom Santos. And he easily could have been like, you know what? Get me somebody different. Let's get some other options. I thought I just kind of threw it at him. I'm like, this guy gave me his name, but I don't know if it makes sense. And they're like, makes a ton of sense. Let's do it. Shows me
it makes a lot of sense for different reasons. So he undefeated, never tasted defeat in his MMA career. Though he's early in his career, Tom Santos has that experience. Bit of an older fighter, and Vadim, much younger in his MMA career with that much background experience in combat sports as well. So it's equally experience boosting. It's equally
for both guys
taking. It's just instead of the older grizzled veteran, you're getting the younger in the MMA career, but still grizzled in his veteranship himself in terms of combat sports, just from the kickboxing background, obviously, and he's using those skills to make a run, and that's made it tough for him to find matchups. Hence why he's fighting Yusuf Zalal, his MMA debut. So hats off to both of them for taking this kind of tough fight this early on in both of their careers. And it's going to be a tremendous welcome for both of them at Cage Titans in this high caliber fight. It's going to be a real treat to watch.
Man, this is a fight. We talked about it a couple times earlier in the amateur ranks. This is one we could be talking about in the pros. Where like, holy shit, those two guys fought at Cage Titans. This fight is insane, and honestly, I'm beyond myself when we put this together. I was like, wow, I'm thoroughly impressed by both camps that they both took these fights, and I just think it also shows a switch in the mindset of pro fighters nowadays. Like, there's no more let me fight the taxi cab drivers. There's no more of that. Like, we want tough fights. You heard Derek Lewis this weekend. He's like, I wish all the taxi cab driving fighters. I know what these guys come in here, and he was talking about his opponent after he beat him. He's like, I know what his record was with a bunch of taxi cab drivers. I knew I got him. And nowadays, I'm seeing more and more fighters are testing themselves early in their careers. This is a testament to that. Jared St. Jean's fight's a testament to that. Ozzie Martin, who we're going to talk about next, and Kenyon Moore is a testament to that. Guys are testing themselves. Look what Jack Congdon did. He lost a title fight in which many people are like, it's kind of early in his career. Then he bounced back, rattled off a few wins, and he's on the Contender Series. A loss isn't going to define you. Taking a tough fight is helpful to your career, because then you can learn what you need to work on, where you need to go. You don't just blast through your career on the local scene. Then you get to the UFC and you're friggin' a deer in headlights. Like, dude, I wish I was working my jiu-jitsu a little bit better. I thought I was unstoppable because I was smoking everybody on the local scene. It's incredible. Insane fight. The juice. Vadim. Let's go. Here we go.
Yep. As you can see, someone might need to go to the bathroom.
Well, I'll take the next one. You want to go to the bathroom? I'll take over and I'll wait for you.
No. He's good for a bit. We only got a few fights left. He took a good shit on a walk earlier and a good pee there, so he should be fine for a little bit to finish up this. He's just being a puppy. That's all.
Some attention. Well, I'll go for it. Ozzie Martin.
He's coming back to weigh-ins, so.
Ozzie Martin out of Nostos, taking on Kenyon Moore out of Glover Teixeira's gym, Teixeira MMA, down in Connecticut. This fight is another one. Like, repeat what I just said about the last fight, add it to this fight. Ozzy Martin, incredible amateur run. You all know him. You all love him. The knockout artist. He just got back from Thailand this past week, doing his fight camp out there. As for Kenyon Moore, incredible amateur career, fought for amateur titles, a 2-1 professional in his third fight. His last win, he took on 5-5 Trevor Goody. Huge step up. He took that let my test myself against a veteran fight against Trevor Goody. Trevor Goody, who has wins against the Gracies. He won amateur titles, defended amateur titles, was undefeated as an amateur. So a huge feather in his cap for Kenyon Moore. And immediately afterwards, he messaged me. He's like, yo, if you're still looking for somebody for Ozzy Martin, I'm in. He wasted no time. My message to him actually was, because the fight was on Friday, he messaged me on Saturday. I actually said, I saw your win. I was going to hit you up, but I figured I'd let you have Saturday to relax and enjoy your win. And I was going to hit you up tomorrow. And he goes, I beat you to it. Sign me up. Let's go. Ozzy Martin, the man that not many people, because a lot of people know what Ozzy brings. He's coming to swing and take your head off. Guys will sign up to fight jiu-jitsu guys all day. Oh, man, I'll get choked out, or oh, I get my arm bar, I'll tap out. People don't want to sign up to fight knockout artists like Ozzy, because you're going to sleep if he connects at any point in time. This fight is going to be crazy. Kenyon Moore is training with Proton, Alex Pereira, Glover Teixeira is going to be in his corner. So he has a slew of high-level guys he's training with. His confidence in an all-time high, coming off that huge win against Trevor Goody. And then as for Ozzy had a fight at Reality, fell through the day of the fight. Had a fight at Combat FC, fell through the day or day or two before, or whatever the hell it did. The guy no-showed to Wayne's. The kid is fired up, pissed off. He's been in camp for 6 months, and then he just spent some time in Thailand. He's ready to explode and put on a show. These guys, it's going to be a one for the ages.
Yeah, Kenyon Moore he's playing catch-up. He's a little bit late to the game. He's in his 30s now, but jumping right in and taking all the steps to make a splash early in his career and to take on the undefeated as a pro Ozzy Martin, who's already had that amateur run that he did and to produce the finishes that he has. This is going to whoever wins this fight is going to skyrocket up the ranks for sure, because they're both extremely talented. And Ozzy just so young in the game. I think he's just 21, 22 years old, if that. So he's got all the time in the world, but he's stepping up and taking on somebody who's got a credible win over Cage Titans legend already, making his Cage Titans debut. So Kenyon Moore, knowing all the dangers coming in, but he believes in his skills and the camp that he's got behind him, as does Ozzy, coming back down from Nostos. They both are hungry to be locked in there against each other. So I think that you're going to see a matchup of complete laser focus from both of them. Stoic professionalism in terms of athletic prowess in there. And we're going to see who delivers on fight night, because you just get the aura of focus between both of them. A lot of big risk taking fights early in careers on this fight card. There's some themes. You got the New York versus Boston theme in the amateur ranks, and then some of these pro fights that are coming up. It's like, they're not deep in their career, but they're deep in skill, and we're seeing some serious high caliber matchups really early on in some MMA careers at Cage Titans 72.
I mean, I'm telling you, man, we're looking at a new age. We talked about the Snyder versus O'Brien fight in 2017. That was kind of like the start of the social media, real big push, and all the pieces coming together. I think these guys now, we're going to look back a few years from now where we're like, guys took tough fights early in their careers, and it didn't set them back at all. It was, the days of getting to 8-0 by fighting 1-4 guys the whole way through, or me offering fights and being like, listen, this guy's going to give me the trash can. So if you can't give me a trash can, I'm not fighting for Cage Titans. Those days are over. They're coming. They want the tough fights. They want to learn where they're at. They want to grow. And this time is one we'll look back in a few years. We said it with the amateur fights where there's like 2 amateur fighters that one day went on to the UFC. Like, we might be looking at fights like this where we're like, both guys go to the UFC and they're like, they fought as pros at cage titans, kind of like TJ Brown and Peter Barrett. Remember that fight? You know?
Oh yeah, no, I mean, and it's just like you have been saying. That's MMA ain't boxing, and it never has been. I remember sitting and watching the sport loyally, and as a wee young lad, there was always guys with losses on their record, and it's just it doesn't hold the same weight as boxing does. So yeah, taking those challenges, and how many times has Dana White, just speaking from he's the greatest combat sports promoter of all time, no matter what you feel about him. The proof is in the pudding, success-wise. But he's given more accolades to fighters who have lost over the years because it's truly not a setback. It's a unique platform where you get to showcase your artistry as a mixed martial artist, and victory isn't the end-all be-all. It never has been in the sport, and that's never going to change. It's you have the platform to perform and win over the hearts of those watching in the arena, win, lose, or draw in there. It's just, what are you bringing, and how much you willing to leave in there on top of the skills that you hone in. So there's many different ways to get seen in this sport, and yeah, that's just the accolade of this card in particular, because I've been excited for a while, as I always am, to sit back. But as we're sitting chatting about each one of these fights, we haven't really talked about it too much in the past few weeks. But as we're really getting down to the nitty gritty of it, it's like, holy shit, this is some serious fights early on in these guys' careers that were just beyond treated to be able to see at Memorial Hall.
Absolutely. Well, let's go. So here we go. Let's get down to the last three. I know people are excited about these ones. Some of these we might not.
You can't be the only one that's long-winded here all the time.
No. Listen, keep it going, man. I'm giving you the ball. Run with it, brother.
That's what I do.
The party. Joe Penafiel is back, taking on Cupcakes. Johnny Campbell. Johnny Campbell's has the record for the most amount of fights in Cage Titans history. Fought at Cage Titans 1 for us back in 2010. Some of our fans might not even been alive back in 2010. Johnny Cupcakes, Cage Titans 1, all the way up to now, Cage Titans 2, first ballot certified Cage Titans Hall of Famer. 26 fights, professional fights with Cage Titans. You know him, you love him. You've heard him in the booth. You heard him in the cage with post-fight interviews. You heard him in the Cupcakes corner. You've seen him all around. A guy near and dear to my heart when I was fighting. Help Johnny Campbell case of the party. I don't even know. I don't know what this means, but all right, Josh. But anyways, he was near and dear to my heart. Like when I was a fighter, back when I started fighting, we knew each other from hockey, and then he started coming to the gym that I went to help me prepare for my fights. I remember doing like tandem sit-ups with him, like till we couldn't do them anymore. And just like, I'd call him at 11 o'clock at night. Like, I just got out of work. Will you meet me at the gym? I need a body to work with him. He was there for me prior to Cage Titans. He's been there since day one at Cage Titans. Cage Titans 1, he's a legend with us. So yeah, man, Johnny Cupcakes Campbell is taking on the party. As for the party, I mean, listen, he's a guy that I've learned to love. He hasn't been around as long as Johnny, but he came on the scene and made an immediate impact that I'll never forget. He was, we talk about, the times we look back in time, Sniger O'Brien, things of that nature. Party was the first time somebody came to Cage Titans that wasn't from New England, that became a Cage Titans fighter that people became fans of. And leading up to the party in 2021, 10 years in the business at that stage of the game for us, you were a fan of Cage Titans, but it was because your friend that you were from the same town as, or a friend that you went to high school with, like, because they fought for Cage Titans. That's why you were a fan of Cage Titans, because you knew somebody. Party was the first time that like kind of broke that barrier down and he was from Florida, but we all adopted him as our own. And I'll just never forget the impact. He was, now we have other fighters like Michael Dufort. Party opened the door for him. All these other fighters that have came through Cage Titans since the Party and really established themselves. And I also think that he helped break a barrier down that like Cage Titans. Oh, we're just the out-of-staters. You don't give a shit about us. And I've always said that. If you've been in a locker room pre-fight when I give a speech, everybody's equally important, whether you're the hometown guy or the out-of-state guy, doesn't matter. No favoritisms. The door closes and one wins and one loses. And Party was so integral in our growth in the last 5 years that we were able to attract fighters from out of the states, from out of state, that saw the value in what the platform was that we had. And then our fans saw, hey, listen, man, we're not just friends because we're not just fans of Cage Titans because we know the buddy. We're fans of the sport now. And though that guy's from Florida, we like him. We want to watch that guy fight. Dufort had made fans. And these other fighters from out of state realize Cage Titans can be a stop in your career to get a big fight, to get a ton of publicity, and try to get you to that next stage. And Party, leapfrogged off his success here in Cage Titans, went on to Bare Knuckle, went on to Game Bread, big paydays, and really became the Party. So I think he had monumental impact, just as Johnny Cupcakes did. So this fight is a legends fight. And I couldn't be more happy to see these two fight, as much as I don't want to see them fight. They both said it to us. They both said it to me in so many ways. Like, I don't really want to fight Johnny because I respect the shit out of him. I don't want to fight the Party because I respect him. I like him. I've, helped him out, cornered, whatever. But like, it's kind of one that just has to happen. Like, they're just two legends. The fans are getting they're getting so much fun out of this. This is one where you'll be cheering for both guys landing punches. You won't hear the ooh and stuff like that. It's incredible fight.
This is definitely a legends fight. No question about it. You can make the argument they're both first ballot Hall of Famers in the Cage Titans realm for the reasons you just spoke on. Johnny being there from day one and Party being someone who kind of leveled up the out-of-staters status in terms of just notoriety on the local scene through Cage Titans. So, and then the fight styles, they really do bring it. They both respect each other and are friendly with each other, but at the end of the day, they're both competitors who are professional competitors in all facets of the word, and they're going to bring it against each other. They're going to see who the better man is that night and probably get really hammered afterwards together. It's sometimes
Johnny drinks, but they might partake in some other party stuff.
Oh yeah, no, they're going to be smoking a lot of weed too. There's no doubt about that. I have no problem saying it, but you didn't. But I don't care. But it's legal now. Get with the times. But yeah, they're gonna entertain in the cage. That's for sure. And sometimes historically, as much as people love banter and bad blood between fights, sometimes fights between friends end up being absolute fucking classics. There's been plenty of instances of that where guys that genuinely care and respect each other, training partners back in the day, but when the bat signal gets called and you got to step up and take a fight, and it's just one of those legend fights that we have. They both answer the bat signal, even though they don't really want to fight each other. I think that's what's just perfect for a recipe to make it that great of a fight, honestly.
Yeah. Somebody asked, Willie asked, how many fights between the two? This will be Johnny Cupcake's 40th fight. In 26, 27 have been with Cage Titans. So his 40th fight as a professional, never mind his amateur career. And as for the Party, I think this is like his 26th or 27th fight. So a ton of fight experience between the two of them. Wish both the best. And as many, I've said many times, like, no matter what I feel about one or the other, when the cage door closes, I can't control a single thing. May the best man win. And as excited as I'll be for one, I'll be bummed out for the other, but it does not take away from my feelings for either one of them. It's, one's going to win, one's going to lose, and that there's nothing anybody can do about it. That's the name of the game. We all know that going in. So I wish them both the best. Let's go. Let's have a fun one.
Oh, it's a fun one indeed. Now we're on to the co-main event. We've got the return of Hillary Rose, who's keeping that momentum going. She's just been on an absolute tear lately, really surging into a new platform of her career. And it's just been a fun rise to watch. Looking on a whole new level, welcoming Nicole Geraldo to Cage Titans, all the way up from Mexico. We're going international for this co-main event. She's 6-1. She's this is a stylistic clash where they both have so many similarities. They both rely on angles and movement and the speed of their hands and the timing of their strikes. They're both strong grapplers, and it's just that the ladies always steal the show. They always bring it. Hillary was an all-time classic last time out, making history as the first professional female champion. This is going to be a 3-round co-main event, so we won't get blessed with those extra 2 rounds, but the experience that both bring, the momentum they both have, and I think the mirror images stylistically is just what's going to make this a firefight in the co-main event between Nicole Geraldo and Hillary Rose.
Yeah, I mean, Nicole's been around for a little while. Her husband's a fighter. She's been fighting for a long time. Amateur career, pro career, 6-1. She's fought at Invicta. She's fought in the high level in the female ranks at the highest promotion for an all-female promotion, Invicta. If you're not familiar with it, I know you are, but people watching. So she's been around. She's fought out of country. She's been on the road. She knows the drill. This is this is no first time for her, first rodeo. As for Hillary, dude, the girls looked incredible. Like this girl's been training forever, fighting forever, and it's always seemed to be sometimes the mental hurdles that she's had inside the cage that's held her back. She's knocking on all cylinders. She's doing all the right things, strength and conditioning, dietitian, anything and everything she can do. She's living the lifestyle, mentally there. She's just firing in all cylinders lately. I can't kudos to her. She's found her rhythm at this stage. And it's funny for somebody to fight in so long. It's like she's coming into her prime now, though she's had 18 pro fights and, half a dozen amateur fights. I feel like she's really in her prime at this stage of the game. And she's got a tough fight, Nicole Geraldo. I know Nicole's super tough, gritty brawler. She'll bleed and she'll still keep coming. I remember one of her fights, just blood dripping down her face, all like painted blood, like painted red all over. And she's just smiling, coming forward. Like, she's not going to go anywhere. She's not traveling up to Mexico, to go home empty handed. So she's coming to win. She lives the fighter lifestyle. Her husband's a fighter. This is going to be an incredible co-main event. The ladies bring it, like you said. So yeah, here we go.
Yeah, tons of momentum on both sides, tons of experience, and looking forward to meeting Nicole when she gets here. Hillary's as hungry as they get, hitting their stride in her career, and yeah, like you said, hitting her prime. Nicole, much younger in the career, but hitting the stride of prime in her own. So we're truly being treated in this co-main event. And now, drum roll to the main event title fight that we've got on tap here between Isaiah Torres and Joe Poirier. And these guys are hard-hitting, explosive, elusive flyweights that are meeting at the pinnacle of the division.
Let's go. What else you got?
Oh, Torres is just well-rounded, durable. He's got like strange, elusive movements. He's very tough to hit, and Poirier known for his power and in his hands and his hand speed. So they're both going to be respective puzzles for each other. Poirier with the dynamic ground game. We've seen all the highlight reels with the flying guillotines and the slams and whatnot. That those skills going to be coming into play, and Torres has been tough to put away historically, and tough to submit, tough to knock out, tough to catch with hands. So these guys are both really, in essence, in their prime, and whoever walks away with the gold is certainly a name that's going to be on the radar of the brass in the big show, because there's just going to be an undeniable sense as to whoever's the Cage Titans champion after this fight, with both of their pedigrees and resumes already. I think they both pose an insane challenge to each other in that they've both been tested in their career. They both overcome adversity. They both bounced back before, and those kind of intangible lessons that fighters learn are prominent on both sides here. And it's a high caliber title fight headlining Cage Titans 72. We know everything we know about Joey Guns, and just nobody with that percentage of finished fights at that weight class. So that's what makes him really a standout name in this realm. And just doing film study of Isaiah, very few people I've seen move like him and be as effective as he is. So I think it's an interesting stylistic matchup between both of them, and both of them in the pinnacle of their career right now. Both on the right side of 30. So it's just a high caliber main event. There's not much more to say. That's within a week of all of these competitors locking the cage against each other. And I'm just excited for all of them. And all
obviously Isaiah's, he's fought in high level LFA. Uriah Faber's A1 Combat fought for their title, coming from Pueblo, Colorado. He knows what he's getting with Joey Guns, and Joey Guns knows what he's getting from Isaiah Torres. They're both looking for tough fights. They're both looking to kind of position themselves for a contender series shot. Torres with a huge win over a guy who's 6-1, and Joey Guns, skyrockets his stock and pushes him closer to a contender series. And same thing with Joey Guns. He beats a guy 7-3. He puts himself at 7-1, and he's right there, and he has an exciting fighting style. Both guys have exciting fighting styles, which also makes it easier to kind of, with a big win here, push them towards a contender. It goes to what I was saying earlier, like, Isaiah Torres and these out-of-state fighters recognizing that Cage Titans can be the platform and give you a big name fight and give you the big name exposure to get you where you need to be. And, for both guys, obviously Joey Guns knows that living here in New England, but, Isaiah Torres recognizing that and looking to come to Cage Titans and make his mark. So I look forward to putting the flyweight title around one of their waists, and may the best man win.
Yeah. Fun weight class, both with incredible amounts of speed. So just, don't blink in this one. 5-minute rounds of high caliber action in this main event. And that concludes the fight by fight breakdown. We did it remote, boss. We did it.
Let's go, man. An hour and a half. I was getting a little relaxing back there, just chilling back there. But man, it's fight week, buddy. As Big Mikey
it's fight week. We'll see you Friday. I'm bringing this one back to weigh-ins. He's going to be all right. He's good. He can't come to the fights yet. But
weigh-ins will be upstairs at weigh-ins, upstairs Memorial Hall in the Blue Room. So just kind of give you the rundown. Go to cagetitans.com. You can still get your tickets for this upcoming Saturday night, Cage Titans 72. While you're there, check out the entire fight card, top to bottom. It's all there listed for you. And if you can't make it to Plymouth Memorial Hall, Spectation Sports got you covered. Only exclusive place to watch Cage Titans 72 if you're not going to be at Plymouth Memorial Hall will be Spectation. Don't fall for the scam links. Don't do any of that stupid, crazy shit. Don't click the link. Only go to our website or go to Spectation Sports. See you Friday, Adam. Look forward to seeing you. Look at that little profile picture. What's that, like a pineapple upside down cake or something? Anyways, so to give you the rundown of Fight Week festivities, on Friday, we have Live with Lynch with James Lynch is flying in from Canada to cover this event. And he'll be doing Live with Lynch live in person at the weigh-ins. You guys have loved that segment we've been doing on weigh-in days when he's been doing it remotely from Canada, but he's coming to town. So let's go. Let's give him a big welcome. So Live with Lynch will be on Friday at 11 o'clock. He'll be live in person at weigh-ins, talking to all the pro fighters and getting their thoughts after they get off the scale. Then ceremonial weigh-ins will be at 1 o'clock, live streaming as well. And then obviously fight day on Saturday. We do the pregame bash at Second Wind Brewing, hosted by superfan Rob Pico. starting at 12 to like 4, 12 to 5. And then at 4 o'clock, because James Lynch will be in town, we will be doing a 2-fighter panel with James Lynch, doing a pre-show breaking down Cage Titans 72 before the doors open and the action begins. And then,
Don't forget the back to school drive neither.
I have it up there. I got it up there. Don't worry. I'm going to get to that. Then Hall Pass. If you don't know what a Hall Pass is, essentially it gets you in an hour early before everybody else. It's $15. You buy a Hall Pass. You get to skip the line, and you get an hour in before the general doors open. So Hall Pass entry, 4 o'clock. Then general admission doors open at 5 o'clock. Going back to the Hall Pass, there's only 100 available. So it's not that everybody can buy a Hall Pass. It's extremely limited, based on the capacity. Only 100 people. So less than 5% of the people can get it. So get in early. Hall Pass doors open at 4. General admission doors at 5. First fight starts at 6. And then, as always, Tavern on the Wharf for the after party. And as I have in the comments right here, check out the back to school drive. Big Mikey, we did it last year. Cage Titans give back to the community. So bring some back to school items, and we'll have a box at the front door that you can drop, pencils, pens, notebooks, backpacks, whatever you guys got. Bring them on down for the back to school drive. Because our next event is not till the middle of September, so we're going to miss it. So yeah, bring it down. Anything you can do, help. Or hit up this guy right here, Michael Oliveira. I don't even know how to say it last. No, it's not. That's not his real last name. But either way, hit him up on Facebook. And you can also, if you can't bring something to it, you can always just send him a Venmo, and then he'll take you on a shopping trip. We'll have a camera following him and doing all the stuff that we're buying with the Venmos that come in if people can't actually give physical stuff. So that's the back to school drive. As always, follow us on all our social media. Cage Titans across the board. Our website, cagetitans.com. I got nothing else. It's going to be a red hot Michael. Well, I mean, you want me to say your last name? I've never heard of Oliveira. I just thought that was because of your job. You can't post what your name is. I thought you just made that name up, to be quite honest. Either way, peace out, Willie. Appreciate you. Red Hot American Night this upcoming Saturday night. Cage Titans 72.
Cheers, everybody. Yeah, we'll look forward to this weekend. It's going to be good. Love violence. Let's go.
American night. Shake your body dry on the coastline. We're hot American night. We snuck our forks to the shore and drank the bottom bones. Right. We snuck our forks to the shore and drank the bottom bones.